Ladies and gentlemen, this is the president, the co-founder, and the CEO of Local Motors, Jay Rogers. Jay, welcome.
Thanks, Emily. It's great to be here, and I'm a little out of breath after making it across the show floor, but yes, I am here.
Because it's such a big show floor, and unfortunately, you weren't able to drive the rally car here because it just started being built. Okay, so talk about this. We've kind of teased everybody that there is a rally car being built on the show floor in the Emerging Technology Center, which is just at the entrance of the North Hall. But what does that mean? What are you doing?
It's a great question. We are right up on level 2.5 at the entrance to the North Hall in the ETC, the Emerging Technology Center. And really, it's sort of the gateway to the show, exposing all of the capabilities that you might find when you go inside the different pavilions. And what it means is we have a car. It's a real car. It's a real drivable car. We've built one for IMTS where the IMTS staff and friends came to our microfactory and they built the car as almost like a DIY or an IMTS IY car. And they built it, and now we're doing it again. But we're doing it again for people to actually see how it comes together. And we're going to do it in about 4 days.
Okay, now I understand that this is crowd-powered auto manufacturing. So let's go back to the car that's already been built by the IMTS staff.
Yes.
Were they qualified to do this?
Qualified by us.
Okay.
But it's a great question. A lot of people would say, how could somebody be qualified in order to be able to do a car like that? And when we say crowd-powered, what we really mean is the whole process. So design, development, and even build of the vehicle is crowd-powered.
Okay.
And then redesign and redevelopment of the build continues. And so it is effectively a methodology that's exposing the development of a complex device like a car to a crowd of users.
Interesting. So the IMTS staff built the first car. And did this car have a name?
This low volume run is called the Rally Fighter. And the Rally Fighter is the one that the IMTS team built.
Okay.
And then they had it wrapped. We ran a competition with our community to design the exterior wrap of the vehicle. And that was done in the spirit of very much the same colors that the IMTS balloon was done.
Okay.
And so they match each other. They're a good pair.
So who gets this car?
IMTS gets this car when it's all done. I don't know who will be seen in it the most, but we will know when it drives off the show floor.
Wonderful. So the DIY or the IMTS IY Rally Fighter car has already been built, has already been raced? Or is this, is this for a race car or is this for a show car? What's the purpose of this car?
I'm so glad you asked that question because we don't make trailer queens and we don't make race cars. What we make is small volume vehicles to show the potential of a new way of manufacturing. And so this vehicle was made to be a vehicle that would fill the niche of a true desert racing capable vehicle that would be in Baja or Paris-Dakar or other places like that, but also be road legal to be able to drive on the highway. And so that's a niche, and it's a niche that hadn't been well exposed. It's really popular in Australia and in certain parts of Mexico and in the desert southwest of America and in some places in China and then in Africa, and there are just not that many places, but the Middle East would be another one.
Okay.
But they're enough that there's a large enough niche. So that's the type of vehicle that it was. That's what the Rally Fighter is, and this vehicle is a road legal vehicle. And what happened to this first one that got built is we sent it on a media tour for IMTS to expose what we could do. And on that media tour, we entered into following a race, which was called the Gumball 3000. And the Gumball 3000 is a rally from checkpoint to checkpoint across America. And we brought the Gumball car on a trailer because it was fresh and clean and new, and we took another one of our cars right next to it. And it turned out that the cars were both so popular that the organizer of the Gumball race said, would IMTS be willing to let us take their car and drive it in the rally across the country? And it was not planned, it was not what we did, and it was not what we planned on doing, and it is exactly what we ended up doing. So the car has in fact raced across the country when it was not planned to be, so it is a well-used IMTS Rally Fighter. And but lightly used.
A well-used IMTS Rally Fighter is the first IMTS car that was built with Local Motors, and then we're building this car on the show floor. I know I took a little walk by it yesterday, and it just looked like a skeleton or a frame. How many hours have you been working on it, and what does it look like now?
This car is a fresh new car, and so what it means is it comes as a box of parts, and then it gets made into a complete vehicle. And so we've been putting the time it takes to box it up and get it ready to be here. Most of the time, we build at our microfactory. And our microfactory is a small facility, which is a vision of a future manufacturing facility, but real. It's just the new way of making cars in the world. And it's in Phoenix.
Okay.
And so we bring all the parts together and build them on the floor there. And we're just replacing a little piece of our microfactory right here at the ETC. Well,
and that's what's great about IMTS is people literally build a factory on the show floor. And it sounds like that's what you're doing with the rally car. So every day, piece by piece, it's going to be built during show hours or 24 hours a day?
During show hours.
During show hours only.
Our goal as a team, you know, anything can happen. The power can go out in the booth or anything can happen. So there's always a little bit of mystery associated with it. But our goal is to have a nice dinner every night and get up in the morning and keep building the car. And so you may see us at the last night here if things haven't gone as planned, finishing some things out. But really, we're here for the measured, even scaled build of the car over 4 days.
All right, so attendees and exhibitors that are walking by the Emerging Technology Center at the entrance to the North Hall, what are they seeing? How are they getting involved?
Well, first thing is, it's Martha Stewart style. So what you're going to find is you'll have the cake that's baked, and then you'll have the cake that's being baked at the time. And for her studio audience, they only have 30 minutes with her, and so she has to have the finished cake. Everyone here has the luxury of being able to go see many other things on the show floor and then come back and see the progress all the time. So they'll see the finished cake all the time. That's the first IMTS car. And then they'll be able to follow along on what we call our build wiki. There are screens right in front of the car that's being built, and you can see what's the next step that's going to happen. And so if you want to jump ahead, you can jump ahead on the screen and see what's happening next. And then you can go away and go look at something else in the show and then come back. Or, as it looks like is happening, there are people who've just camped out and want to watch the whole thing happen.
Neat. Well, Jay, we really appreciate you making it happen here on the IMTS 2012 show floor. Thank you so much for racing over here to join us in the IMTS TV studio, and best of luck the rest of the week with the rally car.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure.
All right, so that was President, co-founder, and CEO of Local Motors, Jay Rogers, talking to us about the rally car that is being built right here on the IMTS 2012 show floor. You can see it for yourself at the Emerging Technology Center, which is located at the entrance to the North Hall. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us for our Afternoon Eye talk show. Be sure to tune in again this evening at 5 p.m. Central Time for our technology update, where we focus on stories that we found in the South Hall, which is the metal cutting pavilion. I'm Emilie Barta, reporting to you live from the IMTS TV studio at IMTS 2012.